if we also include Batman into this equation, and I have to go out every night and like be a vigilante, I think I'd rather be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's cool. Everyone likes
Friendly
Spider-Man.
neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also younger, so you get to live a little bit longer.
Yeah.
If you haven't played pickleball yet, I would highly suggest going and playing pickleball. I think there's a reason that there's a big craze around it. It's because it's so much fun. We played this past weekend, and I already want to play again. Like I almost want to play this weekend, but we're going to the potentially going to the U of L volleyball game on Saturday if they win tomorrow, which you're going to.
Yep. They better win.
The
That's all
game
I gotta
tomorrow.
say.
Yeah, it's going to be intense. I want to go on. I really want to go to the game on Saturday, so they better win. It's knockout round, so they play Saturday at 4 potentially. So we can't play pickleball again. But as far as a sport goes, and I think the reason that it is such a big craze is because of not how simple it is, but how convenient it is for anyone to play. If you look at kind of a different range, like ping pong, the ball can move really fast and it takes a high skill set and it can get really annoying. And then tennis is just a bigger court, so there's a lot more movement and more things going on. But pickleball is that middle ground where anyone can really play, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely suggest playing it. And Cole's played a lot more than I have.
A lot more, he says. It's like 2 more games than you.
Oh, I thought you played more than that.
Oh,
Okay.
No. No, I've gone out, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 times. My family was like, you should come out and play with us. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is fun. And then you all started playing, so it's good. I'm excited. I really enjoyed just playing with you all, and not to knock my parents, but the competitive level is definitely different.
Well, you also have we rented a court indoor, kind of being in the wintertime right now, but over at Tom Sawyer they have a bunch of courts set up that I don't even think you have to rent, but I think it might be a little difficult to get on the court. But it was a lot of fun playing pickleball for sure. We'll play more. And then also,
I'm still sore.
You're sore?
I was sore following the next day and a half, and it was in one spot. It was in my left shin, so I must have landed on it. I don't know. I don't know how you get sore in your shins from pickleball, but
it's the kind of the running and having to put the brakes on, like planting component.
Yeah.
That's probably what makes you
I
sore.
think that's probably what it was.
Yeah, the planting component of it. And another sport that's kind of like that is just came to Louisville, and Lauren and I are going to go do that at a friend's birthday party in a couple weeks on a Friday. It's Topgolf. I'm excited to do that, and we'll have to go play some Topgolf as well, because it's kind of that anyone can play it kind of thing.
Yeah, it's super fun too, because even if you played golf, you're not going to dominate your friends, really. Because you're basically aiming and trying to hit it into a hole, I guess, in the ground. And so not everyone's good at aiming the golf ball.
Yeah,
even if you got a good swing, you know.
Yeah, just it's less. I mean, going out and playing golf. If I didn't play when I was a kid, I think it would be really difficult to get into it now, because one of the things I always, even as being I'm not an insanely good golfer whatsoever, but I definitely have some experience. I started playing a lot when I was younger. I played all the time in high school, but a lot of the courses are close to houses, and it's just like, well, if I hit this wrong, we're taking out a house or hitting a car. And in Topgolf, you don't have to worry about that, unless you're going to, I guess, if you really shank one and hit someone in the back of the leg, but you don't have to worry about that in Topgolf as much as real golf.
Not even a little bit. Although I did see a TikTok of someone falling into the net. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that, no.
The nets that they have?
Yeah, those nets are huge.
Yeah. I saw someone fall into it. Unintentionally, too. It just tripped and fell.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different games on Topgolf. All right, so pickleball, Topgolf. We'll get back to you. Eventually, we'll play. I know I'm playing Topgolf, but we'll have to get out and play one time these weekends coming up. And if you're on the YouTube channel actually watching this episode right now, there might be a couple of things that you might notice, and that is that we're actually in 1080p now. And I'm going to talk about this story. So we've got some upgrades here, but unfortunately we don't have the virtual backgrounds that we were kind of having fun with. But that's okay because we're gonna upgrade, maybe have some stuff in the backdrop, and that allows us to have some fun with the backdrop a little bit different. Than obviously I've got my Peloton behind me and stuff like that. And eventually you might see the dog walk by. Maybe I'll just bring the dog on every episode. He's laying right next to me always on the couch over here. So let's get into some of the questions. Actually, no. I'm gonna back myself up here. I think this can be a good educational tool when it comes to not content creation, but projects that you get into, and going back to the 1080p component. So we did this podcast. I don't know how many episodes we did before we started doing video, and I was thinking about, I was like, okay, we're definitely missing a big target of content creation, and that's doing video. And I was like, okay, it's simple. We'll just make a YouTube channel. We'll do YouTube. We can do clips, all that, while we're sitting here putting time into recording the stuff. Video is a whole process that we're just missing in that sense. So I was like, okay, we have to start doing video. And I went out and got 1080p cameras, and I was like, all right, perfect. We're going to do this on Zoom. We'll have the virtual backgrounds. It makes it simple, so we don't have to do a crazy backdrop that looks expensive or whatever. And then we get into Zoom, and it's going well, and you're sitting there. And one thing that I didn't realize is that on Zoom, it only records in 720p. So that's why the past two episodes is like, all right, now we got to figure out how this works. And it's kind of, when it comes to house projects or any project that you work on, you'll get into it thinking it's going to be simple. And I feel like a lot of times it becomes a lot less simple really fast. Do you have any,
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of projects like that where you start something and you don't fully understand not fully understand, but you don't
account for certain.
You don't account for certain things. It's harder than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
That's a lot of projects I feel like that I take on.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much every project. I mean, the podcast, there's been so many things that I've started to realize, especially with like YouTube. It's like, all right, creating a thumbnail. That, as simple as that may seem, creating a thumbnail, and then, all right, how are you going to promote it? And then you got to start doing clips, and even right now, and it's something we'll probably have to work on as well, is when you think about recording this. So right now on YouTube, when you're recording it, it's recording it in a more of a landscape mode, so more of a bigger space. But then when you go on TikTok, you need to be more in a portrait mode. So then it zooms in on you. So then the quality's deteriorated. So you almost have to sit way further back. But then you can't sit way further back because then your mic's not on your desk. Because like, all right, what do you do in that situation? And it's all these production values and stuff that you may not recognize. Yeah, So sit there for a second.
Mics.
Well, here's another thing for the thumbnail. What we're going to have to start doing if we want good images of our faces is, and let's just do it right now. I need you to look in the camera and make a face. So I'm gonna get the camera on me. And hold on. Let me get the camera on me, and then I'm gonna this is gonna be my thumbnail picture, and then you have to do one, and then I can screenshot it. Okay. Hold on, you have to talk so it gets up on yours. So now you got to take it.
I have to talk.
No. Actually, yeah. Okay, perfect. It's on separate clips too. This new software, Riverside, it's on separate clips. So that is our thumbnail, and it's all this stuff that you don't realize that you have to do. Is basically what I'm saying when it comes into projects and content creation. But something that I was thinking about this morning on the drive into work was when you really think about us podcasting and putting it on YouTube and doing that kind of stuff. We're kind of creating a portfolio for future people to look into and get an idea of who we are. I know that kind of sounds a little ridiculous, but if you think about it, it's like, oh, he has a podcast. Then you can go watch you on the podcast and really see who you are as a person, in a sense. So you're kind of making interview content right now.
That's right. This is the real me.
It is. It's kind of true. Well, it was. I listened to some other podcasts that wouldn't be. They're definitely a little bit more explicit. And in that sense, at a certain point, they get down, they're in this road that they have that content out there that I don't think they could get jobs in certain areas because it's not going away. And you know exactly some of the stuff I'm talking about. They're comedians and they're funny, but it's not we'll say, teacher-friendly content for sure.
I don't think they were planning on becoming third grade teachers anyways. So.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And you, as an interview tool, and when you look at like content creation like this, or any of your favorite people that you listen to or watch videos on, we're not influencers, it's more like an educational or teacher component. And the past 2 episodes have really been very much like I did a lot of research in the dark hole, do this, do that, and the Trinity of Health one was really hard. So this one's going to be a little bit more. We're going to have some fun, but I think there has to be a learning component relatively in each episode. So we'll figure out where that happens later on. And I feel like Cole kind of just, as far as the podcast, he kind of just popped on and it just worked out really, really well. Yeah. And we haven't learned a lot of stuff about Cole, so we're going to learn a little bit more about Cole today.
That's
it's right. Your time to shine. It's your time to shine. You
it's
shined last episode, though.
Yeah, that's right.
You're the interviewee. Okay, so let's find. We're going to find out some just basic stuff about Cole. And what is your favorite fast food restaurant?
Wow, diving right in. So I've taken a lot of time to consider this. Okay, you sent me these questions, and they've been difficult. I've wrestled with them. I've lost sleep over them. Okay.
Yeah.
You're laughing. And I'm telling the truth. So, for fast food, historically, it's been McDonald's. McDonald's is just such the all-American, all-encompassing fast food restaurant that I have always wanted. Fries, burgers, nuggets, soft drinks. That's an underrated element of fast food. But if I was taking everything into account that I want, I think I want Cane's more than I want anything else ever.
Cane's is the go-to favorite fast food. I'm
going to choose Cane's.
Yeah, I essentially sent these initial questions to Cole to answer beforehand, so he can really think about it and not be thrown underneath the bus. And I also answered the question. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, all right, favorite fast food restaurant. I was like, okay, I have a couple. So you had like McDonald's, and you probably had like Cane's, and maybe like Chick-fil-A or something up there. I was like, in my sense, I was like, what's something that I think I could eat every single day and I absolutely love? And it's just Chipotle. I honestly think I could eat Chipotle every single day and I wouldn't get sick of it. I love Mexican food, though.
That's wild. That's just a wild choice in my mind, but I understand how you feel about Chipotle. You've discussed it many times.
Well, the other thing about it, and I think I said this the other day, is just the rate, like the macro breakdown of it, the carbs and protein combination, and you can really just get away with eating it and it's going to be efficient. Where something more or less like Chick-fil-A, I'm going to get a fried chicken sandwich, but I don't think I should eat fried food every single day, kind of thing. Not that was the question, but Chipotle is my favorite.
Okay, so why would you pick Chipotle over Qdoba?
That's just better. Kind of at the end of the pandemic, I needed to pick up some food really quickly, and Qdoba. I used to eat Qdoba all the time before Chipotle was even in Louisville. I loved Qdoba. Their queso is amazing, and I would always eat Qdoba. But I went to one, I guess it was about a year or two ago, because it was close, and it's just bland. It's nowhere near as good as Chipotle. Their queso is great. I think Qdoba is just no. The only thing that Qdoba has on top of Chipotle is their queso. I love their queso and their chips. And then you get free guac. The guac is better at Chipotle, but it's too expensive.
Yep. And the fact that you can add queso and guac to anything.
Yeah, it is a plus, but yeah, I just still think Chipotle's better.
It's fine. It's fine. I saw a Rhett and Link video comparing them recently, and so that's what brought it to my mind.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look. Is it a newer video or is that an older one?
No, it's somewhat older. It was a few months old, but
okay. I'm gonna watch that when I eat
Chipotle and Qdoba. So
I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat that when I watch lunch. I'm gonna watch that while I eat lunch. That's for sure. I'm looking that one up. Who is your favorite as a musician? I feel like this is probably gonna be a harder question for you. And who is your favorite band, or I guess you could just say artist in general?
Yeah, this was definitely the second one where I was like, ooh. But I think I'm gonna go more with a recent and who I've recently been really into, and that would have to be the artist Remy Wolf, if you've ever heard of her.
I have not.
Really good. Check her out.
I will check her out.
It's like pop, funk, this weird kind of fusion of. I don't know. I like it. It's cool.
I will check it out. I will put that. I'm going to type it down here. Remy, like R-M.
R
How you spell it?
E-M-I.
Wow.
And then Wolf.
With an E or not an E?
No E.
No E.
Yeah.
Okay. Just regular Wolf. Okay. Yeah, I just went with favorite band. It's pretty simple. I'm kind of boring when it comes to some of the musical stuff where I'm just pretty basic, to be honest. And I just put Queen. Queen is one of my favorite bands.
That's a great choice.
It's such an easy one, though.
Choice. It doesn't matter.
It's an easy one, though. They're just that good. Favorite band.
They really are. Yeah, it's a great choice.
We've had whole episodes on TV characters or TV shows and movies, but let's get a little bit deeper into some of those components in the sense of who is in your top three. So I actually just did a top three, and I said 1 to 3 favorite TV characters of all time.
So my first one, for the longest time, my favorite TV show was Psych. You've ever heard of it?
Yep.
Yep. And so probably Sean from Psych, he's the main character. He was probably my favorite TV character for a while. And now my favorite TV show is Succession, which you still need to watch.
Yeah, we need to watch it for sure.
Motorcycle outside, sorry. And so now I would probably say Kendall Roy from Succession.
Is he one of the main characters? Or is he...
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the father of the business, and he has 4 kids, and Kendall's one of the kids.
Okay. And I definitely need to watch it. When I was looking up some of the stuff for the Christmas template for the Christmas episode, which is going to be filmed on Sunday.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
The Christmas episode is going to be so good. I've got the template. I have some of the questions for the beginning of it, and I made them pretty hard. Like, I'm not playing games,
really?
And I might have to. Yeah, I made them hard in the sense of like that way when not everyone's going to get them. Some of them are easy, but they're good. But they're all about Christmas movies, and it's multiple choice, which makes it a little bit easier too. It's not like just like it's multiple choice, but yeah. And I saw Succession. I was like, dang, I didn't really need to watch that show. All right, so you got 2. You have a third or just 2? 2's plenty.
I just picked 2. I stuck with
fine.
2.
Okay. I went ahead and did 3 because I did basically a pretty big range of what these characters are.
I did see your characters.
It is a range. So the first one's Walter White, which is the main character from Breaking Bad. And the second one is Ted Lasso, which is the main character from the show Ted Lasso. And so you get like crazy psychopath kind of, not psychopath, but crazy, just like criminal. And then middle ground, you have a soccer coach who's very lighthearted, very, 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 very funny. And then my third one's from an anime. Well, not even anime, technically, from a cartoon. And I just think he encompasses so many good qualities about a character, and he's so respectable, and he has a cool arc to him. And that's Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon.
Absolutely love that show. Love that choice. It's a great choice.
Uncle Iroh. I will not, spoiler alert, but the scene where he's when he's in prison and he's just like doing chin-ups and they slowly show him like getting jacked. It's like, all right, Uncle Iroh.
He's crazy.
Yeah, Uncle Iroh is the man. All right, favorite movie characters or movie actors, or I guess it'd be more or less like characters from movies.
Movies have always been like a weird one. I know I feel like I'm saying this for all of them, but like movie characters haven't always stood out to me as much as TV characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's what I think it's.
Well, I just feel like in a TV show it like develops longer because there's more episodes, obviously, and then in a movie it's a couple hours, so I don't get to fall in love with the character as much as I do on a TV show.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wrote down a few. I always enjoyed Indiana Jones as a kid.
Okay.
And maybe it's more of an actor thing too. I thought about this. I have favorite like actors that I like, but I'll talk about that after this. I liked Borat.
Okay, that's nuts. I didn't even think about that.
It's a movie character.
Yes, he is.
And then I chose Iron Man because I like Marvel. I'm a Marvel boy, so.
Okay, fair enough. Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. is also. I mean, he is Iron Man kind of thing, you know.
So good. He's such a great actor. Just in everything he is, everything he's in, I want to see it.
Yeah, I hope they come out with a new Sherlock soon. I really like the Sherlock movies; those are so good. One of the ones that kind of runs along the same timeline as him doing Iron Man. The first one that I put down on my list is such an easy grab as well, just like Queen. Heath Ledger is the Joker.
Yeah.
Coming. I mean, it's hard not.
That was the fourth one that I almost put on there.
Yeah, it's really good. And then I went ahead and put Han Solo. So kind of same actor, with Indiana Jones. I think Han Solo is a really fun character. And then the last one, which it's just James Bond. I like it as a character. I think he's cool. It's something I grew up with. That was the third one I put down as far as characters go.
I think those are good choices. I mean, Heath Ledger, it's a toss-up, but it's a softball, but you got to use it.
Yeah. I mean, some of this stuff I needed to answer it relatively quickly and not thinking off the top of my head. So I just kind of Googled it and I was like, okay, yeah. And it's not that, I mean, I agree with the stuff I put down, but if I maybe spent more time, there might be a couple of changes on these lists, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
Favorite sci-fi movie?
All right. I was between two. I was between Interstellar and Inception.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to choose Inception because I've seen it more. It's just been a movie that, I don't know, I just watched more and kind of gotten into a little bit more. Interstellar, I've only seen once. And I watched it semi-recently, so I haven't developed that same level of appreciation for it, I guess.
I've only seen Interstellar once, and that's actually my favorite sci-fi movie that I put on here. And maybe we should watch it together a second time because I've only seen it once as well. It's long. It's so cool. I think it really encompasses, in hindsight of seeing that movie years ago, encompasses a lot of the space or time travel or gravity that we talked about in one of the last episodes that I just really, really find fascinating. And I think they did a really good job with it. And the acting's really cool. So Interstellar's fantastic.
Yeah, I do think the story kind of tugs at your heartstrings a little bit more in Interstellar than it does in Inception. But
Inception's just so cool.
Both of them are crazy.
Yeah, Inception's so cool. What is
I also like the concept of Inception more because it feels more like I've always thought like lucid dreaming seems like a really cool thing that I'd love to do, and that's basically sort of what it is. So
yeah. No, yeah. Once you learn how to lucid dream and you're able to control it a little bit, you may not want to do it. We've talked about that a little bit before, but it gets annoying after a while when you can kind of start controlling your dreams. It's like, get me out of here. It is. It can get it just depends on, I mean, I'm not saying I can crazy control my dreams, but I've definitely had times where because of practice and actually watching the special features of Inception and them teaching you how to do it, I just started being able to do it. And then, I mean, I did it last night. I'm not even kidding. When I was sleeping, I was having a lot of crazy dreams, and I was in a tussle with some stuff going on. Kept waking up. Yeah, it's fun. It's an interesting thing to be able to do. Now, speaking of Marvel, what's one of your favorite superhero movies? I guess you could pick a trilogy. I picked the Batman trilogy. Even though I love Marvel, I've watched those movies probably the most of any of the superhero movies. What's your favorite movie?
I know I put Iron Man as my favorite like Marvel character, but I think if I was going to pick like favorite superhero movie, I always really liked the Doctor Strange movies. And then I always liked, I mean, Endgame is amazing to me, so probably one of those two.
Doctor Strange. How did you feel about the last one?
In and out. In and out, it was tough because I liked some elements to it, but I didn't like all elements to it, and it left me kind of, I don't know. I left very confused with how I feel, and I still feel the same way. I don't know.
Yeah, the third one was rough for me. The first Doctor Strange movie I think is really, really good. The second one's okay, but I think the first one's great. I love the first one. The whole concept and idea of his power. His power is also the whole like being able to do the ring stuff is such a powerful thing. If you could use it in so many different ways, and there's jokes about how you could just use it to do a lot of simple things that would stop problems really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Thanos is right in front of you. It's like, all right, well, cool. Let's just throw him into space real quick. Here, get the ring, throw him in. All right, he's gone. Bye. You know, it's like they could literally do that in 2 seconds as long as you could grab a hold of him. And that's such a powerful. Sometimes when it comes to powers in shows or movies, it's like, well, we can use this a little bit different and be way more efficient.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but it doesn't make for a good movie, I guess. So
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Exactly.
I would love for a movie to do that. Just this big box office production. You know, they hype it up like crazy, and then the movie is like 10 minutes long because the superheroes actually use their powers the way they should.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even have to. They could use them in that sense. Like, it's not even killing someone. It's just literally like, all right, well, he's out in space for a little bit. Now we can take care of this. He's not going to be able to time.
Yeah.
Like, he can't do it. He's in the like. I mean, you think about it. Doctor Strange he goes through the multiverse, so he can I guess it's with that one girl. But either way, I mean, I don't know. They could use their powers. Yeah, that would be really funny. Favorite drama movie, and I know you had a hard time with this one. Did you figure out a movie drama?
So I looked up some stuff, and I kind of found a couple that I liked. So one that I always really liked, and I like the way that, I'll just say it, I like 1917. Have you seen that?
I don't think so. What is that?
It's just like a World War I drama, but it's like a fake story, but maybe based on a real story. I don't remember exactly. But the way the movie is shot, it's shot where it's a one-shot movie.
Okay.
Where it looks like everything is done in one take.
That's crazy.
And I love that kind of movie. I think it's like super interesting how they can make it work, where they add in certain cuts, even though they're not really cuts, like when you're actually watching the movie. But anyways, it's a cool, I don't know, it was like an hour and 40, maybe 2 hours. And it's just an interesting story. Action sort of packed drama. And then one that I watched recently with Aaron that I've always wanted to watch was The Big Short. And I thought that was really good.
Such a good movie.
And
That's one we didn't.
I think that's a drama.
Yeah. Drama. Well, that's what I was going to say. Drama can be a difficult. It has such a blanketed statement on. It's like, well, what is a drama?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I struggled with it because I didn't know how to define a certain movie. With it.
Yeah, it's like so. I actually, I'm not kidding when I say this. Defining what drama is, I went ahead and put Ford versus Ferrari as mine, and then I typed into Google, is Ford versus Ferrari a drama? And it said action. It said drama / like action or like real story. I was like, all right, says drama for me. There we go. That's the one I'm putting. So Ford versus Ferrari is the one I put, which is a really good one. But yeah, going back to the Big Short, it's one of those movies that it's not necessarily a feel good movie, but it's one of those. It's just so good. That's another one that if you've never seen it, go watch it. Did you watch it on Netflix or did you just have it on?
I had it on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Plex.
on Plex. Yep.
Yeah. It's I think it has been on Netflix before. It's even though it's talking about not financing, what was the word I'm talking about? Investing in the market. It's really well done. Christian Bale's in it, which if Christian Bale's in it, I mean it's always worth the watch for sure.
Yep.
He's insane.
And Steve Carell and Jake
Gyllenhaal?
No. It's the other one that I always mix up with Jake Gyllenhaal. He was in La La Land.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Great movie. You need to see that one. Oh, I'm going to get yelled at for this.
Who's yelling at you?
Keep going, and I'll find it.
All right. So you're going to find it. All right. Let's go into... We're not even going to do miscellaneous. Well, I'll just do it quickly. I don't know if you put one. I just put the final Harry Potter as...
I picked one. Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Right. Okay, yeah.
That's what it is. I picked Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay. It's funny. We both picked kind of movies that are probably more like feel good or just.
Yep.
The reason that the final Harry Potter for me, I told this story a little, I think before, but I'm telling it again real quick. The way that I watched it, I think I did it so well, not on accident. It was kind of on purpose, and I'm really proud that I did do it this way. knew nothing at the time about how the story ended. I didn't read the book. I didn't want to know. No one spoiled anything. And when I went to go see it, I saw the part 1 first, and then stayed in the same movie theater, and then immediately watched part 2. And I thought it ended really well, and it's just that whole experience and that whole trilogy kind of coming together. I thought that it did a really good job. So the final Harry Potter for me, and then Pirates of the Caribbean probably has not just a similar story, but something relatively close.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I like the characters. There's funny moments, there's happy moments, there's sad moments. I like pretty much all of the movies except for, was it the 4th one?
Yeah.
4th one's pretty bad, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Do you think Johnny Depp is coming back? Are they going to be able to bring him back at this point? That would be. I mean, everyone would go. I would go see it. I mean, I'm a sucker, but I would definitely go see it if he came back.
Yeah, I go and see that in theaters.
I need to go see it. I haven't seen a movie in theaters in forever. I don't even know the last movie. Maybe Spider-Man. Not even the first one.
This is gonna sound so. I saw Don't Worry, Darling with Aaron because she wanted to see it.
Okay.
And it was pretty good.
Yeah. All right, let's transfer over a little bit to cooking shows, and then we have the Would You Rathers at the end of this. Not cooking shows, TV shows, but it is cooking shows, what we're going to talk about first. Cooking shows, I love cooking shows. I mean, like I said, when I'm eating lunch, I pretty much just, all I watch when I eat lunch for the most part is I have like 4 or 5 YouTube channels that are cooking channels, and they come out fast enough that I can watch one each day when I'm eating. But my favorite cooking shows on TV, Ugly Delicious is kind of more of a docu-series or a documentary about food that's ridiculously well done, especially the first 2 seasons. And then I put a second one, which I think he's coming out with the final season of this, the reloaded version of it. But Good Eats is a lot of fun, and those episodes still stand up today to being a really good show as far as cooking shows go.
Yeah. I am also a big cooking show fan. But I'm more, I guess, the reality cooking show type person. And I watch... I actually just love Gordon Ramsay. I just love Gordon Ramsay. I think he's so funny. I think his style of, like... I don't know if it's teaching per se, but just, like, interacting with these like chefs is so funny to me. Like, I don't understand why you have to be so brutal, but he is, and it makes for good TV.
Yeah.
So I always liked Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares. I just watched was it Iron Chef? Not Iron Chef. Master Chef.
Yep.
So I like those. What's funny is last night I had a dream with Gordon Ramsay in it.
A lucid dream?
No, it wasn't. But I won't describe all of it because obviously dreams are weird to describe. But basically I had the moments of him yelling at me, and I had the moments of him being like, "Great job. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible." So
let's have it.
So yeah.
Gordon Ramsay. I've watched some of his stuff on YouTube. Whenever he's cooking too, he's so expressive and just like, okay, and he's just like, it's like, dude, you could calm down a little bit.
It is unbelievable. I think he feels like he's always making a TV show. I feel like I wonder if he's ever just turned off, like as far as the personality, and just toned down, because at like when he's on screen, he is full on going crazy,
Yeah, he's a character, and he's always putting on that theater piece, basically. And I mean, it's just who he is. That's how he's always been. I'm sure there's definitely times where he's, I don't know, maybe that's just who he is. He's got to turn off a little bit, or at least slow down.
I don't know.
Favorite comedy? We talked about this at length, I feel like.
Yeah, I was between 2, so I kind of split it. I love It's Always Sunny, and I love Community. And they're both different styles of comedy TV shows, so I couldn't really pick. But I think the funnier one is It's Always Sunny, so I'll probably lean that way a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I put Always Sunny as mine. I mean, they're just, it's... a comedy doesn't. I don't think it always has to be about how. Obviously, it needs to be funny. How funny it is. Sometimes it can just be about how the characters interact, and it's not making ha funny, but it's kind of like, all right, it's kind of like that's funny kind of thing, and that's what Community does really well. There's ha stuff, but the characters and the interactions are like, it kind of makes you just like smile. Basically, is a good way to put it.
It's definitely a feel good TV show for sure.
Yeah, favorite sci-fi show.
Okay, this one I kind of went sort of a different direction because they're both cartoons, and they're both technically funny shows, but they're sci-fi. So I picked between Futurama and Rick and Morty.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's I need to go back and watch more Rick and Morty. The thing that gets me on Rick and Morty is sometimes it's just too much. You know what I mean? Like it's like There's some episodes like, okay, guys, we can dial this back a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. But you know exactly what I mean when I say that. If you watch Rick and Morty, it's like, okay, we're going here. We're going here. All right, back it up. That's how that show is, though. But it's really good. I like Rick and Morty. I haven't watched a lot of Futurama, though. When I was a kid, I used to watch a little bit when it was on TV.
Yeah, I like Futurama. It's another... It's not even really feel good. It's just nostalgic in my mind now. So it's feel good in that sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like nostalgic, but yeah, it's funny. It's like a Family Guy, but funnier to me.
Gotcha. I put Doctor Who. Have you seen any of the Doctor Who episodes?
No, I haven't. You know, when I was in high school and middle school, when it was like bigger, my friends were super into it, but I just never really got into it as much.
Yeah, it can be a difficult show to get into because the doctors do change. So the character doesn't change, but the doctors change essentially.
Yeah, I've heard how this concept works. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so like the actors change over time, and the personality of the doctor as they go through stuff changes, but then the base level of who the doctor is kind of stays the same. And a lot of people kind of have their favorite doctor, and I feel like it can be based on when you first started watching it. But it's a really cool show. It kind of goes along the lines of the Interstellar idea for me, as they get into time travel and space and all this other stuff that's I think is really interesting and fun. But Doctor Who, it can be difficult to also start that show. Like if you start at the beginning, it's kind of rough. It's just rough around the edges. Yeah. And then the second Doctor is really good. He's actually the guy from Harry Potter. I can never remember his name. And then my favorite Doctor is Matt Smith, though. And that season's when it really, the technology's gotten to the point where they can do better sci-fi stuff, arguably, in that season. But Doctor Who.
So do the doctors have like different personalities, or are they all supposed to act the same, or like what's the vibe there when they change actors?
So they have they do have different personalities, and that's why you have a favorite doctor.
Okay.
Some people are like, this is my favorite doctor, but it's still, he's the doctor. You're playing that character because it does change. And each of them have like their own little quirks or different stuff they do. So it changes, but doesn't change in a sense. They have different personalities. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. It's a fun show. All right, let's skip down here a little bit further because I want to get into some of these would you rathers. Let's see. Favorite food? Nah, we're not gonna go with that. You want to go? No, not favorite sport memory. Dream car. How much would you want to talk about cars, or would you want to talk about cars or cartoons as a kid?
Let's do cartoons. Cars, I'm not as big into cars as other people. Not obviously that's not a bad thing, but I'm just like, Lamborghini sounds cool. Bugatti. Yeah. I know the brands. I don't know anything about the car though.
Yeah, I got you. All right, cartoons as a kid. I put down a bunch just because right when I Googled 90s cartoons, there's ones that popped up that I kind of forgot about. And I was like, man. I'm just gonna spill mine off, and then you can. So we got, as a kid, Dragon Ball, Dragon Tales, Recess, The Magic School Bus, and Rocket Power. Those are my 5, and I could probably keep going on and on and on. But those are the ones that really I watched a lot as a kid.
Yeah, and I think, not to really drag you down, but I think mine are more in the next wave of cartoons. So like, just because I'm a little bit younger than you.
Yeah.
So probably mine that first came to my head were SpongeBob, probably Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom. Did you ever watch Danny Phantom?
Nope.
I like that
I could see it, but I don't think I watched it. No.
Yeah. I was a big Ben 10 kid, which was just a kid that could turn into monsters through his watch.
Never seen it.
Crazy show. And then Avatar, Last Airbender. I mean, I watched that as a kid when it was on Nickelodeon. So
Yeah, I didn't watch that show until like 3 years ago. So, which
Yeah.
is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, cartoons arguably back in the day are better, but I feel like that's just because as you grow up, you look back at the nostalgia and you go to watch them. Like if
yeah.
we went back and watched some of that stuff now, I'd be like, this is kind of cheesy.
yep.
But the Magic School, one of the ones that I kind of remember in hindsight is the Magic School Bus, and it's weird to like a show that's actually meant to be educational. And I think that show did
True,
it did such a good job of teaching stuff. I mean, you could have just, I remember in some science classes we would just watch episodes of the Magic School Bus to teach us. And I don't know if that was
Yep,
the
me
teacher
too.
being lazy.
Yeah, no. I would
Or-
watch
or-
like the biology ones where they talk about the body and the cells and stuff. Yeah.
It worked. It worked. Did you ever watch? Let's see how many of these shows. So I haven't. Only ones of your shows that I really ever watched was Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, of course. SpongeBob, I like SpongeBob. Like sometimes on Sundays, Lauren and I will turn SpongeBob on in the background when we're like doing stuff. Like we still will. It's just
It's a great choice.
It is. And what of the shows that I said? How many of these have you seen? So Dragon Ball, Dragon Tales, Recess, Magic School Bus, or Rocket Power? Are you
Dragon
familiar?
Ball, I had the opportunity to see. Like, it was on TV when I was watching it, but I just never watched it. I watched other stuff. Dragon Tales, I've seen Dragon Tales. It was when I was a lot younger, probably like 3 or 4, maybe 5. But I don't remember a lot of it because of how young I was. And then, what else did you say? What was the last one?
Magic School Bus, Rocket Power, which was like
Rocket
a
Power.
skateboard.
I haven't heard of Rocket Power.
It was like a skateboarding, like cool kids kind of show. It was fun. I like Rocket Power. I mean, some of those shows, the interesting part when we were kids is how sometimes they weren't accessible. Like we didn't have streaming to watch them. It was just based on, like I was able to watch more Dragon Tales because of what time it came on or what channel was on. So we didn't have cable, so like PBS, and I watched like a lot of Arthur and a lot of Dragon Tales because like that was what was on TV and accessible to me.
Yes. So normally I'd pick like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. Those were my two. But if they had something on that I didn't want to watch, like I'd turn on PBS and I'd see what's going on there. And so I'd catch the occasional Arthur. I
Good old
catch the
Arthur.
occasional. I'm gonna sound stupid. Was the Muppets on PBS, or was that?
I don't
on-
know, but let's see. PBS
Something
90s kid shows. Let's see here. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You got Arthur, SpongeBob, Caillou. Remember Caillou?
Oh, Caillou. Yeah. I catch the random episode of that.
That show was kind of, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. We didn't like watch that.
No.
Let's see.
I wasn't
Ed,
a big fan
Eddie.
either. But... What was that?
Did you ever watch any Ed, and Eddie?
Oh, I love that show. All right, add that to my list.
Rugrats.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Rugrats, but not as much as some people.
I have to ask this one. Did you ever watch Zoom Boofafoo?
Nope. I have. That sounds insane.
Teletubbies.
I never watched Teletubbies. My mom didn't let me. She's like, it's gonna make you stupider.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Let's see here. Bob the Builder.
Oh, love that show. I
The
had
Wild
bed sheets.
Thornberries.
I had bed sheets of Bob the Builder.
The Wild Thornberries. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I like Bill Guy.
Yeah, he's
There's Rocket Power. I guess these are more. There's some of the stuff. Most of the stuff, and then Doug. All right, yeah. So the list goes. I mean, it can. There's so many different shows on here for sure.
yeah.
Animaniacs. All right, cool. All right. Well, now that you got to know Cole more, let's go into
it.
Would You Rather. That's all there is to know about Cole. Is those questions that I asked him. There's
That's
nothing
my
more.
entire personality. That's it.
That's all you got. Oh, I wonder if Kylo got in the shot there. Kylo,
he
you want to
did.
come up here?
I saw
Oh,
him.
Nice.
Saw
He's
him
a
crawl
little.
by.
He's over here doing his stretches. I need to have like my cam where I can like move it around. I'm gonna put it on a stick or something where
like
I can
that.
move it. Yeah,
That'd be a
instead of
good
just
idea.
sitting on top of my computer. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second. Okay. This one's pretty simple. I don't even think this even like has a contest, but I saw it and thought it was cool and thought it was a good spot. Would you rather get a letter from Hogwarts, so you're going to Hogwarts to be a wizard, or would you rather become a Padawan, so potentially becoming a Jedi?
I think, and I think I'd rather get a letter to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Mainly because the Jedi like way of life doesn't sound that appealing to me.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
You know, I feel like I'm a monk. I'm giving myself to the monastery to, you know.
Just so you can have a lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Just so you can have a lightsaber. Yeah, no, yeah, that's why I said that this question's pretty easy in the sense of, yeah, just Hogwarts. Yeah, I want to be a wizard. And
yeah,
you know,
and magic is cool. So
yeah, so there's just so many more things you can do with magic than just like, okay, I have a lightsaber. I mean, the Force is cool, but if you have a wand, you have the Force basically. Leviosa, the boom, I've got the Force. Wingardium Leviosa.
Come on, the Force is so much more. Why would you?
It's so much more powerful. Yeah, no, Hogwarts for sure.
Yeah, definitely Hogwarts.
This one is going to get way deeper than this. Might be this is the point where I'm going to teach a learning lesson here. What would you rather do? Win the lottery or live twice as long?
I'm going to say, and maybe this is like not the right morally correct answer, but I'm going to say win the lottery because I feel like people at 90 and 100, a lot of them are like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to die. You know? And it's because all of their friends are gone. Maybe most of their family's gone. And so living to 200, I mean, I guess that's cool, but I'd rather just like have the money to be able to do the things I want with my family and friends for the life that I already hopefully I'm going to have, you know?
Yeah, no, that's exactly, that's my thought too, that when you get into that question, it's like, okay, living twice as long, that means you're going to outlive everyone that you know, unless someone else has that option, which is like, okay, then are you going to start another life? You know, what does that look like? And when you win the lottery, as far as like, when you really look at like what is the purpose of money, in a sense, it's just like the purpose of money is to buy you time to do the things that you want to do. So if I win the lottery, then I don't have to work anymore. Now I can do whatever I want to do with the money I have. Now I have, instead of living twice as long and still working during that time, and I can do whatever I want with the time that I have with more money, essentially. So I'd rather win the lottery. Yeah, time is money.
Easy choice.
Yeah.
Well, if time's money, then I'm living twice as long, right?
Huh?
Time is more money.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now, but in my mind, time equals money means living twice as long is more money.
Oh no, well money.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
But all right, next question.
Just made my brain fuzz because I was like, all right, I don't even know how to navigate this because I know what I'm trying to say, but maybe I didn't say it correctly because I can definitely do that for sure. I'm living in my own brain. I'm like, all right.
No, you said it right. I just in my mind. Yeah. All right, next question.
I'm still thinking about it. I may have still said it wrong. All right. Would you rather have the ability, this is time as well. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes in the future or 150 years in the future?
Definitely 10 minutes. That affects my life. 150 years. I mean, it's cool, but like, I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
Well, what? Am I just going to tell people about it?
But what's going to happen in 10 minutes, though?
Happen. Huh?
Yeah, but I guess the question.
Oh, wait. Okay, actually, pause. Do I only get to do this once?
That's exactly where I was going. No, let's say you can do it as much as you want.
Oh, then 10 minutes. Yeah.
Which would be dumb because once you look 150 years in the future, it's not going to change much if you keep doing it kind of thing. So, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Yeah, 10 minutes. I agree with that.
I mean, unless you're looking at different aspects 150 years in the future, like if you're looking at different cultures and stuff, I don't know. 10 minutes. It affects my life.
Would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy? Telepathy? Wow, I am so illiterate. Telepathy, the ability to read minds.
I think telekinesis. Actually, I think telepathy is so powerful and so dangerous.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could become the best poker player of all time if you could read someone's mind. Like right there, you just, all right, we're playing poker. What's in your hand? Okay, you know what to bet, kind of stuff like that.
But I feel like it's such an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that Charles X or Xavier, Professor X? That's his power.
Yeah.
Right? And he hates it. I mean, he's like, I don't want to read the minds of these people and like see and feel their emotions, you know?
Yeah. Well, what if you could read your dog's mind? It would be really cool. It'd be what language do dogs think in? There's all that those fun questions. Maybe you could start answering. What language is he thinking in? The words that we've given him as he goes around and knows sit, stay, lay, whatever. That's
crazy? I haven't thought about that.
there's your thinker of the day.
Yeah, no.
What language do dogs think in?
I'm gonna lose sleep for that one now.
I mean, they have to have a thought process. Obviously, they do.
Yeah.
So, what is the language?
Yeah,
how are they
definitely.
going? How are they navigating their day? All right. Would you
It's not a
rather?
wait, what if it's like a series of barks? That can't be it, right?
Well, they do speak in bark.
I know.
So is it?
but
I don't know.
do they think in bark?
Do they think in bark? They think in bark and words. I don't know. It's a question we'll probably never have the answer to unless you can download their thought process through. I don't know.
Figure it out someday.
Yeah.
150 years into the future. That's what I look up. That's what I see.
That's the questions we want answers to. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life?
AC and heat.
Yeah.
The internet is too powerful, and it's going to be too important for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny how quickly people answer this question. I asked a couple of kids over the gym this, and they're like, "Yeah, for sure, AC air conditioning, don't care. I'll get a pool and I'll go into that when I'm hot." Like that was the response. It's like, all right, the internet is that powerful. Yeah, it's just too much involved with the internet. There's too much involved with it for sure.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
I think a personal chef. I think, yeah. I think that's what I want. I want good food all the time.
I told Lauren this the other day. I love cooking. Not all the time, but I definitely love cooking, and I love making my own food and just like learning new technique. Like you're constantly always learning different ways and different stuff.
Yeah.
If I had just an obscene amount of money, I don't know if I would hire a personal chef, but I would definitely hire a person to be my dishwasher. So like I get to cook and it's like, all right, I'm cooking at this time. So if you could clean up the kitchen around this time, like that's the person I hire is a dishwasher and a kitchen cleaner. That would be the person that I would hire on. Have a personal chef and a professional dishwasher.
Maybe I'm not into cooking as much as you all are, but maybe a personal chef that would also teach you how to do what they're doing, you know?
That's a good,
Cool.
That would be really cool. Just a chef. That's an amazing thought right there. That is yes. Have a chef come over. You have enough money, and they teach you different cuisines on a consistent basis. Tonight we're making sushi
for you when they want to.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that. Couple more here. This one kind of it actually. The more you break it down, it kind of seems dumb if you think about it money wise. But would you rather never pay taxes or never pay for food?
I guess taxes. I mean, you're gonna spend yeah, you're gonna spend more in taxes, right?
I think theoretically, you'll probably end up paying more in taxes than you would pay for food. But then if you go get crazy on the food, then you could also outweigh the taxes. And the other thing in the
just
rules,
eat out every night, you know.
Yeah, in the rules, could you also, if you never pay for food, could you buy food for other people? You know, imagine how cool you would be.
Yeah.
If you're always like, all right, I got dinner. Like that would be that would be sick.
You're always that guy. That guy.
Yeah, and it's like, and then they don't feel bad. It's like, well, I don't have to pay for it. It's free because of the rules of would you rather.
Yeah, I feel like no taxes too. That's a philosophical one, but really leads to the breakdown of government.
All right, so never pay for food. Boom, eat whatever you want. I mean, that would be cool. You can eat.
I agree. That would be cool to not pay for food in that way. If you're thinking about it
Chipotle
like
every day. Never be able to use social media, or you have to be a full-time influencer.
man, that one's probably the most. I don't know.
I will answer this one. I'll answer this
you
one
go
first.
first.
I'm going to take this one first. You've been taking the hard ones in the beginning. Okay. I have to use social media for my business, but let's take that out of the equation. Let's say that I don't have to use it for work. It's just like a personal use. Being an influencer full time, I feel like is got to be incredibly difficult because over time people will start caring less, and basically the only thing that matters is your numbers on social media, the numbers that you're pulling of people seeing you, and you're probably going to be selling very similar stuff on a consistent basis. So if that's true, then to keep recreating content that people actually care about has got to be infuriating. It's different, the content that we're creating here, because we can go wherever we want. Like it's just like, okay, what do you want to talk about today? But for influencers, usually it's like, okay, I'm an influencer on this apparel or that apparel, and then you got to go. It just seems mind-boggling. So I would just never be able to. I don't want to use social media anymore than be an influencer.
I think that's. I don't know. I'm struggling with that because I think and you also got to define, I guess, social media influencer. Like, is it just like Instagram person, or is it someone who's doing YouTube videos, or?
I think when you define influencer is like, it would be more or less someone that is trying to sell a way of life. So if it's like an influencer, it'd be like, okay, this apparel, that apparel, or this fitness life, this lifestyle kind of component, versus someone that's like a YouTuber, like Mr. Beast. I don't see him as an influencer. He's a content creator, or like Cody Ko, or those. They're creating content. So influencer being, I'm trying to think of like a fitness influencer or that kind of stuff.
Well, in that case, then I'd probably give up social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just that lifestyle, that type of occupation doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
As much as like you said, like a content creator. Like if I had to be a YouTuber forever, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'd figure out what I want to do. I'd figure out what I make videos of, you know?
Yeah. The creative side of content creation, what ends up happening is you'll like, I don't have any ideas. And then you start going into, you get one little good idea, and then there's a rabbit hole. There's so much out there, but with an influencer, you're kind of pigeonholed on what you can really do. And then I feel like at a certain point, you're just going to, not being fake, but you kind of almost have to be a little phony to get across, unless, I don't know. I just much rather get rid of social media for sure. Last question, completely out of the different range of that question. Would you rather be Batman or Spider-Man? So powers or not powers, billionaire or kid, DC or Marvel.
That's a different question. So, am I Bruce Wayne or
Bruce
am
Wayne
I
is
Peter
Batman.
Parker? Is that like
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Because like if I'm Bruce Wayne, then I could do whatever I want. I don't have to be Batman.
You just destroyed Batman.
Yeah,
Batman's broken now.
Yeah.
So I think the question, I think it should be in the sense of, if you're Batman, you're also Bruce Wayne. If you're Spider-Man, you're also Peter Parker.
Money's money, man. But also, like, if we also include Batman into this equation, and I have to go out every night and like be a vigilante, I think I'd rather be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's cool. Everyone likes
Friendly
Spider-Man.
neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also younger, so you get to live a little bit longer.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, it is a tricky one. I think I'd still be Batman. I want the money. I want to go out at night. I want to be, I'd be Batman over Superman, even though he doesn't have any powers. But I don't know.
Batman over Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
right?
yeah, sorry.
All right,
Yeah,
I just want to
Spider-Man.
make sure, because Batman Superman is definitely a question too. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. Would you rather be Batman or Superman?
Probably Batman. Superman isn't as cool as Spider-Man to me.
You don't want all of the powers?
No.
Fair enough. I
like Spider-Man's powers more than I like Superman. So, which is kind of weird, I guess. I feel like that's
No, it's
not
totally
what people
fine.
would think, but
Yeah, you don't need all the power. What is power at the end of the day?
useless.
Useless. All right.
And that's where we wrap it up. Power
That's
is
where we wrap it
useless.
up. Power is useless. We are at 1080p. Wait until you see the background that I have coming in for my backdrop. If you're not following the Edge Instagram, you wouldn't know about that. And this, I'm going to say this in the episode because I'm not going to do a promo on this one. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this anywhere, I guess, or listening to it anywhere, make sure that you go to the Edge Instagram and follow it because we're going to be, Lauren has access, my wife has access to the Edge Instagram. And this upcoming week, she's going to ask a bunch of questions on the Edge Instagram story that I want to get as many people to answer. I'm not going to see them. Cole's not going to see them. And then she's going to write them down, and we're going to do a fun episode basically trying to guess what those questions answers had the highest number of choices and have fun with that way. So she's going to kind of mediate it as well. So she's going to be like a game show host kind of situation, and we'll ask silly questions like, I got this actually from Good Dude Mythical Morning, this idea from it, in the sense of, all right, there's 4 chips. What is everyone's favorite? What is everyone's least, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
okay.
it'll just be kind of a fun filled episode as well. So make sure you follow the Edge Instagram so you can be involved in that poll and see all the other stuff that we update. And do, if you're on the YouTube channel, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.